As you can see, Stef has designed a new frame. Kind of looks like an X frame. Plenty of space for the camera. So old Rammer Road should be happy that he's not smashing all his cameras. This is quite unique. It's actually got a battery tray. So the top layer is purely for camera protection and battery protection. The battery's not going to skew out, fly out. It's trapped in that case and should be kept relatively safe. As you can see with the old Team Woolly Sheep strap, there's no issues at all. And for this build, I've gone with a 4-in-1. So this is the Little B 20 amp Little B Pros. That's going to sit on those mounts, and then the Naze 32 flight controllers is the Acro Naze 32. It's the Afro. Pretty reliable. They tend to work. And just because I'm a bit of a tart when it comes to building, I have got some nice red breeding. So the motor cables are going to be set in the red breeding in the channels, and it will look kind of sweet. These seem to be cropping up quite a lot. Emax, the red bottom racing motors, they are very, very powerful. These are the 2300s. Why the 2300s, I hear you ask? Why not the 2600s? Because these can take 5-inch blades. Oh, 5-inch blades on 4S gives you roughly 1 kilogram of thrust per corner. That's an awful lot of power for such a little craft. To give you an idea, I have a ruler. The wheelbase for this is from center to center is about 237 thereabouts. Right, here we are. So my first plan is receiver sort of go in the front, power distribution there, Naze sat on top. Right, where's the VTX going to go? VTX needs to go in the back. I need a VTX. A VTX. This is an old Banggood special, 200 milliwatt. Did I say 200? Sorry. In the UK, we are limited to 25 milliwatt. So obviously that is a misprint on there, because we like to stay within the law. So that's going to sit on the back there. As I said, my antenna is going to come out horizontally, like so. I did say it's going to be tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the wrapper. Yep, the wrapper's coming off. So I may have to review the position there. Failing that, I'm going to be Stef's worst nightmare. Sorry, Stef. Let me think. Right, I thought long and hard about this. Stef's idea was to put the receiver underneath the PDP. Personally, I'm not that fussed. I need to get the bind button. This is the receiver. This does get warm. So, sorry Stef, but those bad boys are going. Sorry Stef. Oh look, a little bit more room. Ah, oh, he's going to absolutely go bananas for me doing that. But there you are, I'm going to drill that out and I'm going to use some nice plastic bits. And there they are, ready for the power distribution board, which I'm assuming, and obviously it's the electronic speed controllers as well, it's built in, it's all in one board. Now I must point out that this is just my personal choice. It's not instructions on what to do. You might have a different view, you might have a different receiver. It's just the fact that I'm not happy with that being underneath this electronic speed controller and power distribution board. It's actually going to sit on top of the naze board. So when it's done, it'll be near in the lid, something like that. So I shall carry on. And there you have it, a nice set of 4 nuts. And on it goes. There you are. I showed you my nuts. Ooh, look at these bad boys. Stef found these on Thingy Universe, the 3D printed little brackets, little spacers, just enough space to provide clearance for the naze board to go on top of there. And the naze board will fit down like that. Now, oh, now that is interesting, because the actual plug is above the base plate. So when it comes to programming, I can cut the base plate to the lid, and I haven't got to cut the base. Or if I have, it's very minimal. So yeah, that should be quite pleasing. Obviously on the finished naze board, I'm not going to have any header pins. Reason being, if you look at the layer, it would be very, very tight. Right, what I've decided is, obviously when I put the naze board on, this is an old faulty naze board, but I won't have the header pins, so there'll be a solder cable, that'll be the motor pins will be soldered direct. Also I'll be soldering for the battery monitoring and for the buzzer output. The receiver, which I mentioned earlier on, is actually going to sit in that position there, which is going to sit on top of the board. I'll probably put a little foam pad there. Now, just to check, I put the pad there and you can see that it sits just under the lid. Obviously the lid has got a thickness, but under the red, if you look, it will be just under it. It should be just clear. So that's a big thumbs up. I know it's going to fit. I'm happier with the receiver on the top. If I ever need to work on it or look at it or deal with it, it's not trapped underneath there with a component that gets hot and possibly melts. If I did have a ESC failure, it would actually fry itself and the components near to it. Well, if I lose the naze board, so be it. I don't want to lose the receiver as well, so I may as well put that on the top. It's insulated from the noise of the power distribution board and the electronic speed controllers. So yeah, that should be a better move forward. The camera's going to go on the front here, which we're going to mount later. I've got this space here, which probably where the buzzer will go. The VTX is going to sit in the back here. So I need to drill and fix that in there. And gives you an idea of where everything should go. Yeah, we're getting there. Right, now for the old internet. What I'm hoping, the traditional layout, motor number 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm kind of hoping that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, as that's the position they're in. So I can actually solder them nice and neatly into positions with the motors. I've got a little notepad sketch showing motors 1, 2, 3, 4 as for the knees configuration. But what you will see is they're straight and they're crossed. So what I'm saying is motors 2 and 3 have actually got the wires crossed. What that means in real terms is that when you've got a speed controller with the 3 wires, 1, 2, 3, if you connect the motors to those 3 wires and keep them in line with no crosses, then it should spin the correct direction. For motors 2 and 3, these 2 motors, I would simply solder them with a cross in them. So that pair is twisted, which means that those motors will spin in the counterclockwise rotation. Thus you have motors which are counterclockwise and clockwise. And within the laws of 3-phase, as long as the phases are in order, it should spin in a clockwise rotation. If you invert 2 of the phases, it will cause the motor to spin in the opposite direction. So we only need to twist these 2 sides, motors 2 and 3. So there you have it. I'm now going to the PC. I'm going to find out which is motor 1, output 2, etc. the cables, so I'm going to get the schematic for that. I'm also going to program my knees board, and at that point then I'll be looking to solder the motors and putting the motors in place. Right, off to the PC. Okay, as you can see, it's soldered up. A little bit of time saving for you. Basically I checked the internet and it said that the unit, the board, the positions are actually printed on the board. On the opposite side, you can't see them on this side, but in very small writing you can see motor position 1, 2, 3 and 4. I had it upside down, so I flipped it over. I wish they were on the other side, because that's where this side is where the XT60 is going, so these are going to have to be set around, but not to worry, it's all good. So as you can see, it's starting to take shape, it's looking nice. Put the braid on as I promised, and I just hope the motors spin in the right direction. Right, now we're starting to get somewhere. Knees board is in. As you can see, the ESC wires are actually soldered in place, and over here obviously the beeper, the buzzer, whatever you want to call it. There's also the supply voltage comes into the knees on the furthest connection. You can see I've taken the red and black in, that's soldered directly to the incoming power. Now this green and black is the telemetry output, so that's all I need now, without putting the FPV in, is to get the power on and get it tested, and hopefully these motors will all spin in the right direction. So fingers crossed. Right, looking almost finished. As I said, I got the VTX in the back, so that's fitted in absolutely perfect. For the FPV, I've gone with this little, I think it's called a maiden. It's 4S to 12 volts little power converter regulator, so it doesn't matter what LiPo I put in, I'll get 12 volts out. Obviously if it's a 3S, it's going to be about 10 volts. Yeah, so everything's sat there. I've fixed the camera in, so the camera's there. I got a full swivel so I can adjust it. Yeah, it's looking kind of good. And of course, these red bottoms are going to be absolutely mental. So all I got left to do now is finish the FPV wiring, which is always going to be messy. It's always lots of extra wires that you can't hide. So, and then have a good tidy up. As you can see, it gets a little bit messy. Right, and here it is, the finished product. Looking pretty hot. Camera pictures, I think that should be more than adequate. And look, notched out so I can plug in that's something that needs to be done. You need to notch out for the programming plug for you to plug it into your PC. Yeah, and I'm going with the Team Black Sheep Triumph antennas. Are pretty bomb-proof, pretty indestructible. So yeah, so that's it. Put some little feet on it. I've spun it up. Props are going the right direction. Everything seems to be working. That's all I need to do is fly it. But it's a bit late, and yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to testing it out and tuning it up. So yeah, so basically, go build one. I recommend it. Right, I hope you enjoyed that video. Well, that's taken me just about just over 16 minutes. So what are you waiting for? Go build one.